Wow, stories.
Am I an idiot for suggesting my friend rehomes her kid? My female 22 friend, female 24, has a 5-year-old son. The kid is, to say the least, difficult. She tries therapy, daycare, lots of educational methods, but he's wild, cries a lot, destroys stuff, yells with her. Anyway, you get the picture. The dad pays a pension but isn't active in their lives, and she doesn't have many family members nearby, so she's pretty much alone most of the time to deal with this. Poor thing is destroyed. Whenever we hang out, it's clear from her physical appearance that she isn't very healthy, and she is always tired and anxious. She takes meds, but her doctor said that unfortunately, there isn't much to do, because there isn't anything wrong with her. It was an outside factor. It's really painful for me, as she's been a close friend for many years. So the other day she was in my house while the kid was in the daycare. She had a breakdown, started crying, saying she doesn't know what to do anymore. Then this is when I may have been the asshole. I said she tried her best, but maybe it was time to think of more difficult possibilities. To think if there wasn't anyone with whom the kid could stay while she took care of herself, because she needed to. She looked at me quite shocked and asked, "Are you saying that I should rehome my son? Like he's a freaking dog?" I said no, don't take it that way. I was only saying that maybe it would be better for everyone, including him, that he stays with someone who could deal with him in some ways you can't. She yelled at me saying that she couldn't believe I could even suggest such a thing and how heartless I could be. I tried to apologize, but she stormed out and hasn't talked to me ever since. Some of our friends are saying that I was an ass for suggesting that for a mother, while a few others say that she needed to hear it even if it was hard. Am I an idiot? Edit. Since most are saying I should help her, I do. I usually help her with errands such as groceries, pharmacy, picking, dropping her or the kid, and house chores. The boy spends most of his day at a daycare. I did not suggest she gives him up for adoption, only that she lets him stay with some relative or on a sleep-in school while she recuperates. Not an idiot. You didn't suggest she rehome her kid. Your friend can't pour from an empty cup. She can't give him the parenting he needs if she's worn so thin she can't care for herself. A temporary stay with a family member while she gets her own health under control is the best solution for everyone. Not an idiot. In the US, we call that respite care. It's usually a social service that a family can access through a Medicaid waiver program. There are also nonprofit groups who offer respite care. In our local special needs group, we have a pool of caregivers who will watch another family's kid for a few hours, etc. Hopefully, she can get plugged into some groups or services that will help her. Now, for the next story. Am I an idiot for forcing my daughter to go to school with cramps? I am 38 and have a 14-year-old daughter. I work from home, so I'm home with her in the morning and drive her to school while my wife's at work. Friday, my daughter told me she was having really bad cramps and didn't want to wake up. I let her sleep in for a little bit longer and gave her a heating pad. Then when I woke her up, she asked me if she could stay home from school. I told her absolutely not and gave her an ibuprofen. I know this might sound senseless, but our daughter has poor attendance. She has issues with skipping at school and truthfully can't have her miss any more school. We'd have consequences including suspension, failing if it continued, or CPS because of the amount of days. It was serious, and I thought maybe she was just trying to stay home. I let her miss homeroom and had her there by first period, which gave her 45 minutes of extra resting time. My daughter argued with me the whole way and told me I didn't care and didn't understand. I told her that when you can't be trusted to go to all your classes, you can't be trusted that you're really feeling ill. A little while after I dropped her off, my wife started texting me angrily saying I shouldn't have forced her to go. I reminded her of all the classes she missed, and my wife said it didn't matter. We could have written a note to excuse this, and that I wouldn't understand. She then demanded I pick her up. I told her no, I had work to do and that I gave her ibuprofen and she'd be fine. Well, my wife ended up having to leave work early and pick her up, and she gave me hell for it. I honestly thought she would be okay for the day, or that she was just trying to get out of going to school. Info. She skips after we drop her off. There's a rec center next to the school. A lot of kids skip through the woods and go hang out. We've had numerous meetings with school. It's out of our control she's leaving after being dropped off. No idiots here. But you and your wife need desperately to be on the same page with discipline with your daughter. It's no joke, that united front, because I can see where you are correct in the loss of trust and her mother's concern for the monthly cramps issue. So doctor apt for the monthlies to be sure there is no underlying health issue, and open discussion on how to treat that pain with all three of you. And another ongoing conversation between you and your wife about allowing your daughter to do an end run around either of you whenever she doesn't like the answer or consequence. She is 14 now, and she's only going to push harder and want more independence than you are comfortable with or that is safe for her, so yeah, good luck with figuring that out. But that does need to be decided and agreed upon by both parents. I would rather have toddlers again than go through any more teen years. Not an idiot. But only because if she cried wolf before, this is a consequence of that. I do say take her to a doctor if the cramps are that debilitating, because that isn't normal, but I don't think you're an idiot for doubting someone who has faked illness before. Am I an idiot for not supporting my brother wanting to get married wearing his Apple Watch? My brother is slightly obsessed with the Apple Watch. He's pretty much owned every version, and always finds some way to bring up how amazing he thinks it is. Like literally will interject into conversations with random people about, oh, my Apple Watch tracks that, or oh, you could do this, that without needing your phone if you got an Apple Watch. It's his thing, and we mostly just let it go. He recently got the newest Ultra Apple Watch with a bright yellow strap. We figure he always picks a bright color so people notice and he has an excuse to talk about it. So he's getting married in a few weeks, and I'm the best man. The wedding is very formal and we'll all be wearing tuxedos. His fiancée put her foot down when he said he wanted to wear his Apple Watch during the wedding. Bright yellow strap and all. She thinks it will look ridiculous and will just be a distraction. We had dinner last night with her sisters, and he brought the argument up, assuming I'd agree with him. I don't think he expected me to take her side, but I did. I may have been a little harsh here, but I said, "You're the groom, not an Inspector Gadget. Leave the watch off for one night." This elicited a laugh from my fiancée and her sisters. He then said, "Okay, well, I guess I can get a black strap for it." I responded with, "Yeah, and then you'll just look like a spy kid. Why don't you wear Grandpa's Omega?" Our grandfather left each of his grandkids a watch from his collection when he passed. My brother got a beautiful vintage Omega DeVille on a crocodile strap that would look brilliant with a tux. I guess his fiancée didn't even know that he owned a vintage dress watch. She's now made it perfectly clear she expects him to wear it. My brother is pissed. He says if I hadn't brought up the Omega, she would have eventually agreed to let him wear his Apple Watch even if it wasn't with the strap he wanted. I'm his brother, his best man. It's his wedding too, and I betrayed him. B brought into it and they're divided. Mom thinks I should have supported him. I know the Apple Watch is important to him, and maybe he could have worn it if I backed him up. Our dad thinks this is ridiculous, and further thinks it would be a nice tribute to Granddad to wear his watch at the wedding. I agree. He's really upset about it though, and maybe I should have just backed him up and let him be happy making his Apple Watch part of his wedding. Not an idiot. I don't even know where to start with this. Yes, it's his wedding too. Yes, it technically wasn't your business to begin with, but I just can't get over the fact that he involved his entire immediate family into his freaking watch drama. Watch dramas. You're the idiot. I know plenty of people who have worn black Apple Watches to weddings, formal events, and everything in between. Why can't the groom wear something he loves on his wedding day? A black band instead of a yellow one would have been a great compromise. Am I an idiot for not going to the doctor with my GF? Yesterday, my male 19, GF, female 19, asked me if I would go to the doctor with her on Thursday because she's getting an IUD put in. She said she wants me there because her doctor said it's going to be an uncomfortable situation and she would like me to be there with her, but she said her mom would go with her if I wouldn't. I assumed if her mom was going to go, it wouldn't be a big deal if I didn't. So I told her that I'd rather not, since I have work about an hour or so after her appointment is supposed to start and I don't want to be late. Now she's upset and she said that she just wanted my support and she didn't think it was too much to ask for. Am I an idiot for saying no? Edit. My GF nor myself know what my schedule for the week looks like until Sunday. She asked me on Saturday, edit 2. We've talked, and I understand how I was being inconsiderate of her needs. I'm going to try to swap shifts with someone so I'm able to go with her. You're an idiot. I am guessing she is doing this to take on the burden of responsibility that is birth control, and it is actually very painful. She simply asked for your support, And you weren't there. It sounds like you are too immature and self-centered for a relationship. No idiots here. Yes, in an ideal world, she would behave directly, or you would have picked up on the fact that she could do with the support. But you are both young and nobody really did anything wrong. It's just a communication issue. It's likely the first time something like this has come up in a relationship for either of you, so it's a learning experience.